The United States has eased travel restrictions for 61 countries, including South Africa, France and Italy. The United Kingdom, however, is still a no-go. Under a presidential order implemented in March, US citizens who've been in the UK may not enter the US unless a special exemption has been made. Well, let's discuss this further. I'm joined now by the acting CEO of SA Tourism, Sthembiso, Dlamini. Good afternoon, Ms. Dlamini. Thank you very much for your time. Yeah, I guess it's good news now that maybe soon tourism between the US and South Africa can begin.
Good afternoon, Dan, and thanks for having me. Indeed, I mean, the move of South Africa from that level 4 to level 3 is indeed good news. Though we do know that obviously the narrative is still more or less the same, we do realize that as a destination, any travel advisory against our country has a detrimental, effect to all the efforts that we're making to ensure that we create demand of travelers into South Africa. And I think we particularly welcome the news because we are aware that these travel advisories and adverse travel policies and restrictions have travelers losing confidence in the destination and ultimately resulting in us not getting the projected tourist arrivals or international tourist arrivals into our destination. And for us, really, US is a strategic market, Dan, because it features prominently in one of the list of markets, our portfolio of markets, where we're going to invest in reigniting demand so that we ensure that as a sector, we recover.
And I guess as a country, we're going to have to do the right things in terms of COVID-19 protocols because I guess it will facilitate things if more people get vaccinated and the travelers will have to be checked as well if they've received the jab or not. Am I correct?
Correct. I mean, we do know that the vaccine rollout in many countries is going to be one of the key enabling effects in ensuring that people are comfortable in, going back to travel and particularly long-haul travel. And I think for it's, as an example of what we're talking about today, if you look at the Biden administration, they've spoken about having 70% of their population vaccinated by 4th of July. And now, if you look at that, that is a good news because if you look at the 4th of July, it's a peak season. So it's a summer season in the Northern Hemisphere. So which simply means that a lot of people coming from that side will be comfortable traveling, given that they would have received the jab. So yeah, definitely the rollout of vaccine becomes a critical, important factor for people to consider traveling.
Yeah, so we don't expect a big boost anytime soon, or like from next week, from travelers from the US, because of the factors you've just mentioned. I mean, it will take still a bit of time, even for people to gather that confidence to hop on that flight to Joburg or Kapstad.
The engagements that we've had with our trade on the ground shows us that a lot of people are looking forward to actually receive their vaccinations or their jabs so that they can start, traveling again. And I think a lot of people are suffering from cabin fever and they would like to just go out there and travel. I mean, we've seen the confidence that has been given to our confidence boost to our destination. Last week when we welcomed the inaugural non-stop United Airlines daily service between New York and OR International Airport. And the feedback that we get from our trade on the ground is that people are looking forward to that. And we do know that later in the year, Delta is planning to do a comeback as well into South Africa. So any increase in airlift and any announcement by key airlines provides a confidence boost to a lot of potential travelers and a confidence boost to our destination. But of course, we do know that it will still take a bit of time for people to gain that confidence, particularly looking at the vaccine rollout and ensuring that as a supply side, we have now exercised or we're implementing the biosecurity protocols to ensure that our tourists are safe when they come to the country. Yeah. And I'm glad that we're working very closely with the private sector to ensure that the biosecurity protocols are implemented across the board in our destination.
Yeah, and as we conclude, Ms. Dlamini, and very briefly, you must therefore have been smiling this morning with the next bit of big news. You've mentioned airlines, that as a Tourism SAA might be back flying soon. Now it's got a new strategic equity partner, Minister Pravin Gordhan announcing it. I've just spoken to one of the investors in that consortium, and that's good news, that SAA flag might soon be in the skies.
Absolutely good news, Dan. The presence of any national carrier will aid and enhance, our marketing efforts. When SAA carries the flag, and that's important to us, it symbolizes hope. It symbolizes the fact that as a destination, we're ready and we're preparing ourselves to actually receive travelers. And we're serious about, receiving travelers into our destination. So that is, good news. And we look forward to working very closely with all the stakeholders to ensure that this is a success.